So we have seen the different types of function. We've basically talked about the different types of function and basically talked about function. I believe we understand. If we don't, we can ask for clarification. So, but let us use our knowledge of function now. Let us use our knowledge of function now to what? Create a simple calculator. So to create a simple calculator, we need to create a function to perform basic arithmetic operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let's take these out and go ahead and create that. So we need to define a function calculator, right? Calculator, and we say A and B. Like I said earlier, we can basically use anything we like to use within those declarations. So we want to add, in our previous class, we looked at we looked at control flow in Python, where we talked about if, elif, else, and so on. So we want to also bring that knowledge back in here. So we'll say if operations, right? If operations, where is the operations coming from? We have operations here as, look at it. So while writing operations, you can see operations is a variable. That is why I stated that when we declare a function, we can state the variables we want within a function, and you can see the V here and the variable here in operations, okay? So if operations, which is a variable in our calculator function that we've declared, is as like equals to, in Python, this is say as equals to, right? And if we say if it's equal to add, right? Let's create a string and say add. If it's equals to add, let it return something. Okay. Sorry, we need to close this. If it's equals to add, let it return. So we want to return some, if operations is equal to add, right? We want to return an addition operation. That is to say, we want to return, say, A plus B, definitely, right? So we need to continue to use elif, right? Or to add more and more situations, right? To add more and more and more situations within it. So now let's use, instead of using if again, let's use else if, right? Okay, that is what elif means. Elif operations, right? Which is a variable in our function calculator, equals to subtract. If it's equal to subtract, let it return what? Let it return a basic subtraction, right? Return A minus B, thereabout, okay? So we can keep going. And since we want to do addition, we want to do subtraction, we want to do multiplication, division, you can basically continue from, see how you can easily continue from what we are doing. So we can use else, if again, elif, say operations is equals to, this time will be multiply, right? Equals to multiply. Okay, so let it return what? Let it return A multiplied by B. So let's elif again. Operations is equals, if operations is equals divide, let it return a division of A and B. So return A divided by B. Okay, before we say to divide B, we need to actually, before we actually do this, we need to actually state that if B is not equal to 0, right? So we will say if B, the variable, is not equal to, to, to 0, so we have to take this back because of indentation in Python, right? Sorry. Because of indentation in Python, so that we'll have correct writing. So we say leave divide, but if B is not equal to 0, so let's divide A by B. So let's go ahead and say else. Else return cannot divide by 0. That is, we are still on, I think we are still on this if. So else let us return cannot divide by 0. So by 0, I will explain this shortly. So this else satisfies this if, you can see in this block. Okay. So let's head back. So the else now, we have been using if, elif. So the last we'll use else. So this else with the indentation satisfies this. Okay. So else, let's return invalid operation. So if we don't capture any operation within our addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, it will return invalid what operation. It will return invalid operation. So now let us basically now use what we have declared. Okay, so let me just say, let's use the calculator function. We just have created a calculator function. So let's use it now. To use it, we have to print calculator, right? The print calculator now, we are talking about the function, okay? We are talking about this calculator function, okay? Yeah. So print calculator. So in this print, we want to what? Print an addition first. So we'll say 10. Remember what we did? As we say 10, 10 should be A because A starts first, right? And let's say 6. 6 now will be B. So now that we have done A and B, we need to do what is operations. Remember, operations can either be add, subtract, because we say if operations is equal to add, wherever we use this, right? We say add. We'll use this. So Python understands that we are referring to the operation add because we have already said that before. So if we print this now, what we are going to get is that we are going to get an addition, right, of 10 plus 6, which is 16. You can see it here, okay? So, but if we do another one, say, let's say print calculator. If we print calculator and now say 10 and 6 again, but this time we declare an operation. We say operation, we refer to an operation. Let's use divide, right? An operation divide basically here. You can see that it will perform this operation that we've wanted it to do, which is 1.666. That is 10 divided by 6.